They will undoubtedly scroll through your profile one evening, their heart a touch heavier than usual, and genuinely wonder how they ever let you slip away. But by that juncture, it will be irrevocably too late. You will no longer be the same individual they chose to abandon. Instead, you will be a man more incisive, more resolute, and far more formidable, not out of malice or vindictiveness, but as a profound result of evolution and self-mastery. This transformation isn't born from a desire for retribution, it springs from an unwavering commitment to becoming so utterly whole, so deeply grounded in your principles, and so exceptionally rare, that your absence becomes one of the most agonizing miscalculations they ever made. This is about forging yourself into an unforgettable presence in a world teeming with the replaceable. And if you truly internalize and apply the wisdom that follows, beyond merely hearing it, you will indeed embody that kind of man, a man refined in the crucible of adversity, guided by the unyielding discipline of Stoic philosophy. Let us commence this journey of self-reclamation. 1. Cease diluting your essence to conform. There was a time when I habitually diminished my true self to gain acceptance. I would plaster on a smile when I yearned to scream, nod in agreement when I knew deep down they were profoundly mistaken, and deliberately dilute my inherent vigor to avoid being perceived as too much. The only harvest from such concessions was superficial acquaintances, shallow romantic liaisons, and a persistent, corroding void within. The ancient Stoics would have unequivocally identified this as a betrayal of logos, your inner reason, your inherent truth, the divine spark within. As Epictetus sagely remarked, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This aphorism resonates with profound significance when you recognize that the vast majority of people exist ensnared in mental manacles, perpetually terrified of distinguishing themselves. But allow me to declare this with absolute clarity: if you perpetually constrict your own being, do not express astonishment when others consistently overlook your presence. If you are perpetually agreeable, never be surprised when they casually walk all over your boundaries. If you are perpetually available, do not be taken aback when they consistently disregard your intrinsic value. Cease playing the fabricated character they desire you to be. Instead, embody the raw, unadulterated version of yourself, even if it renders some individuals profoundly uncomfortable. For the select few who truly matter, who genuinely appreciate authenticity, they will never implore you to shrink, they will, conversely, implore you to expand into your full potential. 2. Embrace imperfections instead of attempting to conceal them. You possess a fundamental choice. You can expend your precious life energy tirelessly attempting to conceal every fissure and blemish, or you can undergo the alchemical process of becoming the kind of man whose power is amplified because of those very imperfections. I once erroneously believed that true strength equated to an absence of flaws, a perfect physique, flawless articulation, zero vulnerabilities. Yet, the profound truth is that genuine strength lies in radical, unequivocal ownership. That indelible scar, that deep-seated trauma, that regrettable decision you made in your formative years, these are not liabilities, but integral threads in the tapestry of your unique narrative. And if you fail to claim ownership of them, another will inevitably seize upon them to define you. When you bravely embrace your imperfections, they transmute into instruments of empowerment. When you attempt to conceal them, they invariably become binding chains. A blade, though cracked, can still cleave. A man, though damaged, can still achieve victory. Cease the pretense, commence the profound process of becoming. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, encapsulated this Stoic acceptance of reality: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your perceived flaws, once accepted, can thus become your path forward. 3. Evolve relentlessly, but never betray your core identity. In a global culture obsessively preoccupied with outward appearance and superficial image, there exists a perilous, insidious pressure to morph into the persona others desire, rather than remaining true to who you fundamentally are. You might find yourself dressing for external approval, speaking solely for validation, or posting content merely to garner attention. And incrementally, subtly, you begin to dissipate, to vanish. I vividly recall a period when I was romantically involved with someone who relentlessly endeavored to improve me: less intensity, less discipline, less inherent fire. The most irrational aspect was that I listened. I softened, I bent, until one fateful morning I gazed into the mirror and failed to recognize the man staring back. He appeared pleasant, safe, polished, but internally, he was devoid of life. Consequently, I walked away. I embarked on a rigorous journey to rebuild and reclaim my authentic fire. Seneca, the Roman Stoic, articulated this truth: no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Your personal evolution should feel akin to the sharpening of a formidable blade, not its laborious melting down to fashion a mere spoon. Evolve, grow, ascend to higher levels, but never relinquish your distinctive edge merely to be contained. Others should be compelled to meet you at your elevated frequency, or they must be left behind. True growth, in the Stoic sense, is an internal process of refinement, not an external alteration for social conformity. 4. If your depth overwhelms some, permit them to seek less. You will inevitably hear it throughout your life: you're too intense, you overthink everything, you expect too much. Allow them to utter these sentiments. Allow them to retreat. Some individuals are inherently constructed for mediocrity, you unequivocally are not. And here is a truth seldom spoken aloud: your profound depth will inevitably disquiet shallow individuals. Your unwavering ambition will invariably trigger discomfort in the complacent. Your quiet confidence will, without fail, offend the insecure. And that is precisely as it should be. You were not fashioned to be easily palatable or universally digestible for everyone. I once experienced the dissolution of a relationship because I was too singularly obsessed with progress. She yearned for tranquility, not passionate pursuit; safety, not the crucible of struggle; comfort, not the thrill of conquest. I wished her well and steadfastly continued my trajectory. A lion does not offer apologies for being a lion, neither should you. For if you diminish your magnificent internal flame to keep others warm, you will, in the end, find yourself freezing in the desolate chill of compromise. 5. Never diminish your standards to accommodate others. Do you know what debilitates a man far more profoundly than outright failure? It is the insidious act of compromising on his non-negotiable standards. If you aspire to cultivate genuine loyalty, cease entertaining the disloyal. If you demand excellence, desist from tolerating mediocrity. If you seek authentic love, stop chasing fleeting attention. Stoic wisdom is fundamentally about establishing internal standards so rigorously unwavering that the external world is left with no alternative but to either elevate itself to meet your level or decisively depart. As Epictetus taught, he who is not a slave to another man's opinion is truly free. Cease bending your own meticulously crafted rules merely to feel transiently wanted. Compel others to earn your invaluable time, your precious energy, your profound soul, not because you are haughty or presumptuous, but because you have meticulously built something truly rare and profound. And rare things are never simply handed out, they are diligently, unequivocally earned. 6. The less you crave, the more you attract. Here is a savage, yet undeniably potent, truth: the more you crave something externally, the less inherently attractive you become. Why? Because neediness is inherently repellent. It exudes the scent of weakness, of desperation, of an intrinsic lack. But when you become complete and self-sufficient in your own right, when your profound happiness is no longer inextricably tethered to the presence or departure of another, you become irresistibly magnetic. This is not a deceptive ploy, this is an ancient, fundamental power. Seneca eloquently articulated this principle: it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. I have witnessed this phenomenon firsthand. I navigated a particularly brutal romantic dissolution a few years ago. She was convinced I would utterly unravel without her. Yet, instead of crawling back in supplication, I grew colder, more incisive, more formidable. I devoured approximately 30 books in 6 months, committed to daily strenuous gym sessions, and successfully launched a new venture. She observed from a distance, bewildered by my profound silence and unwavering progress. A few months later, she initiated contact, not because I had pursued her, but because I had utterly ceased needing her. Do you aspire to become irresistible? Detach, elevate your entire being, and allow your resonant silence to convey everything. 7. Do not seek love to complete you, share it because you are full. If you traverse life perpetually searching for someone to complete you, you will invariably attract broken halves, individuals seeking to fill their own internal voids. People do not complete you, they amplify you. If your ambition is to become the one person they profoundly regret losing, then cease attempting to find love, and instead, dedicate yourself to becoming a man intrinsically worthy of it. Love is not a primary objective, it is a magnificent side effect of cultivating deep self-respect, unwavering discipline, and a profound sense of purpose. When your life overflows with intrinsic meaning and personal fulfillment, love transforms into something you generously share, rather than something you frantically chase. There is a compelling reason why so many men often lose themselves within relationships. They lacked a fundamental bedrock, a clear mission, a defined identity before the relationship began. They erroneously believed she was the mission itself. But a man who is inherently whole and replete on his own terms, a man who lives by an inviolable code, he never debases himself by begging to be loved. Instead, he becomes the kind of man they relentlessly beg to love. Think like a warrior, love like a king, and stride through life with the force of a gathering storm. Become the indelible presence they will never, ever forget. You do not command respect by merely demanding it, you earn it in profound silence, forged through the crucible of fire, in those solitary moments when no one else is observing. You do not transform into the man they regret abandoning by becoming louder, needier, or perpetually more available. You embody that man by being profoundly rare, rare in your unwavering discipline, rare in your unshakable self-respect, rare in your mastery of emotional control, and rare in your resolute refusal to break under pressure. Because the vast majority of people are forgettable. They slavishly follow transient trends, they perpetually chase external validation, they invariably fold under the slightest pressure. But not you. You meticulously constructed yourself in solitude. You remained fiercely loyal to your chosen path, even when no one offered applause. You bled quietly, rebuilt privately, and ascended without needing to offer a single explanation. You will become unforgettable because you vehemently refuse to become like everyone else. You will become the one they regret losing because you became the man they could never, ever replace. They will remember the unquenchable fire in your eyes long after the fleeting warmth of others fades into obscurity. Now, go forth and sharpen that blade, leaving behind nothing but ashes of your past self.